Hey, what's up you guys? It's me, Gatvol, and welcome back to another gameplay video. Finally, I'm back, and I'm here to stay. I'm so sorry I've been away for so long. It's been so hectic, but I'm back to do more gameplay, regular gameplay, so just sit back and enjoy. I know we played this game before, and we played the first chapter, which was Isabella's side of the story. Now we're gonna play Hannah's side of the story, I think. Good thing I bought all the chapters, so just sit back and enjoy. Without further ado, the letter with Gatvol. See you at the end of the video. I'm actually gonna miss Isabella. Like, she was my homegirl. Now we gotta deal with the rich chick. It is far too easy to get them to pay attention, enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we are honest. Oh, okay. And a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Hannah Wright!
Oh god, okay. Jesus. I can see he was a long lost boyfriend many moons ago. Oh my word. Jesus. There's a moment of agitation as a familiar... See, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I got a knack for these things. Jesus. It's just the way he said it. But a less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Oh yeah, he's very suggestive. Very suggestive indeed. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. I'm sorry, I haven't read out loud in a long time. You have to forgive me. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What
Officer.
a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He's an officer of the law. He is more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I only invited his wife. I think he invited himself. He probably took that as an offense. Never offend a police officer, or chief of police, or whatever he is. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke. Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Rochelle, jeez, it's a mouthful. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. God, jeez, this is a lot of reading, man. I need a drink. Jesus. I'm gonna get dehydrated. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Jesus, Hannah, you are the worst. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxbourne Police, his wife Rochelle Lee Nair Vance. Oh, okay. What's she, a lord or a lady or a general or what? Owns a General Electronics company, fridges and freezers mostly. Okay.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight.
Thank you. Oh my word, what is happening here? I'm like tearing up, what the hell?
I see the husband isn't with you.
Oh, he's got some ulterior motives there. Back away, go to someone else. Come, there's a lot of people in the room there. The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. Oh gosh, he's like disgusted. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Yes, yeah, I go to all those parties and I just know how to spot them. You know, it's just the worst. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets. Assets, okay, just get with the quotations here. Assets, and getting close just because my husband is not here. Ooh. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party Well, you are rich. That's probably what it is. His police salary is not cutting it for him. In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's woman's language of saying back off. I'm not interested. Just go away.
Rochelle isn't here?
Yeah, you see, there's a hint right there. Come on, guy. If you don't get that hint already, I don't know what you're gonna get. Nothing.
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor.
No mention of your wife, I see.
The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with her doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
Oh yes, because carrying your child is just such a strain. We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Okay. He is a nice enough person and I adore his wife. He's obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him. Well, that's pretty obvious. As much as I want to. ... He regale. Jeez. They're pulling out some really fancy English words here, I'm sorry. They regale to me tales of the Luxbourne Police Department. A different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to. And though I loathe to admit, is interesting nonetheless. There should be an it there. See, I'm not so stupid. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. There needs to be another comma there, I'm sorry. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the new tank chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked it in the garage.
Okay.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. Affair. Not a relationship, affair. So what are we implicating here? She's pregnant. Who's she pregnant with? Why are you smiling like that? He's a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. Okay, so they're all married. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. Jesus, and you're buying a house after 7 years? Took you long enough? I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although, my darling didn't have his moments.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
You are a downright idiot.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't.
Clashing.
But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Ooh, she's like not liking that at all.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife.
55.
I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with
the mansion!
Ghost stories.
Not the mansion. You know what he's talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood mansion?
Oh god, I thought I'd never live to hear the name again.
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Oh no. Don't tell me. He knows the priest, doesn't he?
Of course! It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace.
Ah, the interior designer.
She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right at... No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Small? Your lounge is bigger than... Okay, maybe a lot of people. But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in it, I suppose, so you can't have massive balls here. No massive balls here. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I've been looking for a good anniversary gift. Anniversary gift? Jesus! A mansion is an anniversary gift. How rich are these people? Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? October 21st, Friday. Who is the redhead? This character just popping out from thin air. Luke is dressed to the nines, as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side, just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering he won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Informed me? I'm your wife. You don't inform me of nothing. You just tell me. And then I tell you if you can go or not.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol.
I whipped the carpet right under your feet
And
there.
2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place.
Yeah!
I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
You know how I operate, Hannah. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me.
Whose side are you on?
Hello?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance.
You pulled out the big guns, Gordon Bennett.
But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
It's just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the triad tasting.
Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple agreements. I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour-and-a-half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff...
I've got my answer. Certainly any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hannah?
Why must he treat me this way? Okay, to remain silent or defend myself. I don't know, guys. Personally, I would defend myself. But that would just take a lot of strain and energy, I suppose. But she seems like the type to defend herself, so...
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want.
Yeah.
I'm ecstatic. Understood? And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply, before he crosses his arms to look like, well, a moping child. Yeah, you put him in his place. Well done, girl.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine? Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
He hides liquor. The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. Oh, this is when they come for the thingy-mabob. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. And the number of other prosperous spies that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxbourne certainly did not disappoint, making this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabella. Yeah, it's my Isabella! What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale, then she's panicking over some sort of prank letter or another. The second thing on my mind is how touchy my darling husband is being towards the poor dear. I cannot even plaster a smile on my face, a horrid scowl taking its place. There is no way I can pretend nothing is wrong as I hum.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Her partner follows, shouting after her without hesitation. There is an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor, daft girl, and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman Rose to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she's not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no right already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella.
No, Rose. I miss you already.
She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Oh, it's fine. The poor girl must feel so embarrassed about what she just did. But I say, let bygones be bygones. After all, she's only a child. She looked, what, 19?
I shoot Luke an accusing look at these words. After all, he tried flirting with the girl. The nerve of him. And not only that, Isabella girl, but also Marianne and Rose too. What kind of husband would think that it's even a remotely good idea to make moves on 3 different women while his wife stands there? Do you drink while I wasn't looking? Bloody bastard!
She's a bit older than that. But again, I apologize. And if there's any way I can make up for what just happened, just...
I know what you can do. Be a darling flower and get us one of those bottles you plan to serve.
Ah, she's ulterior
But
motive
open.
here.
We were planning on serving some champagne. I can get that.
That would be lovely. Much obliged.
Do you want a glass as well, Ms. Wright?
Oh no, I'm fine. I really shouldn't be drinking right now.
And Luke shouldn't be either. But right now I'm just too tired for any sort of argument. I don't have the heart to scold him in public as well. I'm certainly not his mother. I just want to get this horrid day done with, go home and sleep. Perhaps I'll even have a strong cuppa before I head off to bed. Yes, that sounds nice. When Rose comes back with the champagne, I beckon her over. As I have told her partner before, I have every intent of acquiring this house. I might as well, even if I'm having second thoughts about getting it for Luke. The moment we, the Wrights, had expressed interest in this place, we've had eyes set on us. If we don't buy it, that might as well be the signal to have busybodies gossip about how we may or may not have lost our fortune. Regardless of the fact that it is false, image is everything when dealing with these people. These are the unspoken rules for people such as ourselves. And besides, I really did like the place. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Whoa! Jesus Christ. Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. Yes, yes! Jump scare! It looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price.
That gave me a bit of a jump scare there. I wasn't expecting the mouth opening and all that. And the blood.
If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them.
I feel like they put that in there on purpose. What was the point of that? There's no ways a painting like that could be hung up in this house.
And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Mary Ann. Oh right, she's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
Oh, there she is, looking all petrified. There's a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steels herself and makes her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
Again.
What painting?
Oh, lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter.
Shit, it's not a painting.
Back to the topic at hand. Marianne,
It was the
dear,
mirror.
we are simply far too busy to meet up.
I would free up my schedule, question the need for a meeting. Free up my schedule.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
Jesus Christ. The
I
ghost is
don't
haunting
really
her
need
as
another
well.
maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher propriety over book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it will inspire spirited and lively debate about whether modern day writers could match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengarde, or rather the Wright Mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them
That sounds
myself.
good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
It's really not.
All right, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggests that we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. God, they're going to be moving into the house that's haunted by this thing. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear, without outright saying it, that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion's grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then? That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
Looks like a demon there.
Well, I'm glad you're not complaining like you usually do. It's a right and proper Christmas miracle, isn't it? Hannah has finally done something right.
I refuse to look at him, staring at the passing scenery
Hey,
instead.
Buttercup, what's with this cheek?
Rose, Lily, Mint. The nerve, Luke, the nerve!
Is that what this is about? One, that woman's name was Rose. And two, you know I don't mean a word of that empty flirting.
And it's still the principle of things, Luke. I understand if you try to woo them to get what you want when it seems that I'm not looking. But I told you once before not to do it when I'm there.
Alright.
Really? I forfeit my trip to Cardiff for this, and you're still not happy.
Oh, trust me, Luke. I am very happy. Very happy that, for once, we are doing something that I want. Can you not see the smile on my face?
It is only when I let loose these words that the truth hits me like a slap on the face, and by the looks of it, it seems to have the same effect on my dear darling husband. It has always been Luke wants to do this and Luke wants to do that, hasn't it? I don't even remember the last trip we went to, which was of my own choosing, without needing to get the man's approval. On the other hand, I was pulled along to every single expedition he wished to tackle, and I never objected. The rest of the ride home is spent ignoring each other, pretending the other didn't exist. Arriving at our penthouse, my first order of business is to get into bed. Forget a hot bath and forget the tea. I just want to bury myself in blankets and forget everything in my slumber. It seems that Luke has the same idea in mind as he tags along behind me. But this is something I will not allow the moment I pass through the door.
Out!
What the bloody hell, woman? This is my bedroom too!
Luke stands flabbergasted as I deny him entry into our chambers. Yeah! His pillows lie on the cold tiled floors, away from the warmth of our soft down bed, and my gaze promises him the same fate if he does not budge on this matter.
Don't even try to argue, because I am very cross with you, Luke Wright. You can take the second bedroom or the guest room if you wish, but I do not want to see you at all for the rest of the night.
Johans!
Our butler wanders over, a curious expression on his face. He doesn't quite hurry, moving at a relaxed pace no matter how angry his mask sounds.
No, you are not allowed to sleep in my room, sir.
That's not what I mean! Help me talk some sense into her!
There is no sense in questioning her right to be angry, sir. So, if I might be excused, I'll go prepare the second bedroom for you.
Mutiny! This is mutiny! The system is being upturned, and the people are rioting, and everything is left asunder.
It isn't every day that Luke is rendered speechless by someone he considers inferior, or to yield to another authority without an ulterior motive. His pride just won't allow it. I do keep telling the man to treat his people better. He may throw whatever fit he wants, but he will not be getting his way tonight. Victorious, I celebrate by jumping face first onto our bed. Undignified, yes, but nobody is here to judge me anyway, right? Oh God, no please. Nobody is here to tell me what to do. Yet as I succumb to sleep, I can hear them whisper to me. Oh God, I can hear them whispering. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. No, 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 no. Help me. Calling for me. They want me. Need me. They drown me, pull me down and suffocate me in their embrace until I sink to the bottom. A deep abyss awaits, inviting yet foreboding. They're calling to me from in there, aren't they? And I do want to help, I do. But when I try to reach out, something pulls me back like a hook sinking itself into my stomach. Ah! Jesus Christ! And I break through the surface with a gasp. Alone in bed and without Luke to hog the covers, I'm swathed in cloth and slicked with sweat. It takes me a while to untangle myself and kick them all off. Both the bed and I are a right mess by the end of it all, but I am more than eager to just get up and go out for some fresh air. Jesus Christ, that should be your first warning, woman. Your first warning. Days past had gone by a blur. We hadn't talked much, Luke and I, outside of necessity. In fact, we've hardly talked beyond the topic of acquisitions of properties. Properties being the mansion, obviously. Everything has been so busy that I haven't talked to anyone outside of business, and it's just so stressing. So one can understand my need for a good chat, preferably over a good meal. There are times when any decent, emotionally healthy and socially capable person needs a good friend.
Up, higher, come on now!
God. The place is bustling with movers carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. I can hear Luke barking at them in the other room.
Careful now! I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Oh god. Okay.
But I already ate, so I should really go back to work.
Nonsense! You arrived so early, you must not have gotten a proper meal. Our butler has made a surprisingly lovely bubble and squeak. Sit, sit! I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a mess right now. Oh, Johans!
The man in question appears ready with a tray as he starts to set the table for us. We sit in silence as we are each served a plate. Oh, lovely. And I got juice as well.
How are you liking the project?
Drop that vase and I'll have your head.
Lovely background music.
I know it's only an 8 million yen vase, but I swear,
Well, it's certainly a fun challenge, incorporating the designs of a Jacobean manor and the functionality of a modern household. I have ideas I would like to suggest, by the way, about what to use the second bedroom for. I have been informed of your goddaughter and thought a kid-friendly room might be in order.
You read my mind. I was actually going to bring that up. Oh, that would just be so lovely, Marianne. That way,
has a
Kylie can bring her
godchild.
friends over as well.
She should not be having a godchild, that's for sure.
And a good friend of mine, Rochelle, is expecting a baby. So, why don't we think about putting a crib in there too? I can just imagine little ones running around, filling this place with the pitter-patter of their feet. We'd have to make sure they don't trip and fall on the stairs, though.
We won't be able to finish everything up until after the party. But we'll have it ready by then, so that all we need to do is to move in the furnishings.
Yes, that's plenty fine. It's not like we're in a hurry to have it. And we wouldn't want the workers to disturb the guests or the other way around, do we? Just make sure it's presentable. You know, in case a guest snoops about.
Of course. As for the kitchen you wanted, I've already negotiated for the high-end stoves and the hot and cold drawers, so on and so forth. I've got a friend who is able to customize them so that they'll look like the counters we'll be replacing and fit the rest of the interior. They'll be bringing them in today.
why can't you people do anything right? Don't drag it, you'll scratch the wood.
Excellent. But no, really, how have you liked it so far?
Oh, it has been wonderful, believe me. Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box. Believe me, this is very refreshing.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
I didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg. Luke wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
She looks confused. Of course she has every right to be. She no doubt overheard me push that estate agent into the sale, making quite the aggressive offer. She saw me sign the papers for the mansion as well. I just had to scoff.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yes, it wouldn't be appropriate to comment further. It is unprofessional.
Unprofessional?
I can't help but let out a deep sigh as I stick a fork into the dish. I didn't want professional. I want someone who will either agree with me, even if it's just for the sake of agreeing, or someone who will try to talk some sense into me. There is no discourse in the middle ground.
The food is good. Best bubble and squeak.
Of course it is. Our kitchen staff only uses the freshest hand-picked ingredients. Only the best for the Wrights.
Mr. Wright is not joining us?
No, he is far too busy bossing people around. He even refused to join me for breakfast earlier. Hence, this.
I see.
Oh god, there's the comments again.
My apologies. I really don't know what sort of response you expect to get from me.
There is the clatter of silverware as I slam my hands on the table. It is frustrating. I am frustrated, at Luke mostly. But Marianne's neutral, professional answers are certainly irksome as well.
You're a human with feelings and opinions, aren't you? Don't give me this bollocks about being professional when we're having a nice friendly chat over a nice and friendly breakfast. I can only talk about interior designs for so long, and I detest one-sided conversations, Marianne.
But I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and...
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
About him not eating breakfast with you?
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
I didn't realize that I shout that out loud until it is too late. There's a stunned silence that settled before I slump back into my seat. I lean my face behind my hands. I can feel my shoulders shake. Breathe, I told myself. Calm down. But it's just so hard.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like he doesn't love me anymore.
Oh God. Comes the desperate housewife moment. Tell me your problems, I'll listen.
Oh, have I been so blind?
Yes.
Did he ever love me at all?
Well, that's the
Was
question.
our marriage all for the sake of saving his company and his wealth?
Yeah, maybe, you know. I mean, look at the huge diamond necklace around your neck.
Because...
Because?
Did I say all that out loud again? No, this is bad, unacceptable. It has been rumored before, the real person for our engagement. But if anyone were to know of this, the real reason for our engagement, what is the reason? Marriages of necessity to carry on political and financial power used to be a common thing, but the Evans-Wright union is the perfect happily ever after. Was supposed to be. It is true that we first met each other in order to discuss dealings to make the then failing Wright enterprise a subsidiary for Evans Incorporated. But I do remember being in love with him, and there were times when he said he loved me back. Even if I'm not sure of what the truth is now. Oh, shame. Either way, I do not want the Wright name or the Evans name dragged through the mud because of a slip-up. Threaten Marianne, ask for her silence. Marianne is a good sort, isn't she? So far she has been reasonable and accommodating even towards Luke's ridiculous requests, patient and professional. Did it only extend to business? Or would she be able to understand that things like this are not as simple, not as clean as they are painted to be? Certainly I can talk to her, ask for her...
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright. Not only am I contractually obliged to, it would also go against my principles. This is no one else's business but your own, and it should be kept between the two of you. And whoever you wish to seek counsel from.
Please, Marianne. You have to understand. These sort of affairs. If anyone were to know this, they could just twist it and we'll be ruined. All I ask for is your silence on the matter.
If I am to be frank, Mrs. Wright, this isn't new for me. You aren't the first, and you certainly won't be the last to have complicated dealings. Unless what you're doing is illegal, I turn a blind eye.
Can I trust her?
If I wasn't in the same boat, I'd be trying to pry those secrets and gossip with you about them by now.
Well, I'm keeping that information confidential as well.
It's not like I have any other choice, do I?
Thank you.
We continue to eat our meal in peace, finishing the last of the food and drink. When the door to the parlor opened, Marianne and I are just sitting in silence.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
I give him nothing but a small nod.
This was a wonderful meal, Marianne. You're free to return to your duties. I must excuse myself.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for the food as well.
Making my way downstairs, I look back and see Marianne give me a nod and a smile, small smile. That certainly put me in lighter spirits. An interview with Luxury Living. That is today, isn't it? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house, Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications and it took longer than it usually does for us. Hopefully I won't have any other unfortunate slip-ups with someone who isn't bound by confidentiality. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think I'm going to leave the video there. I've done a lot and I don't want to put too much into one video. I want to keep it suspenseful and then continue on with it. But yeah, that was creepy but not as scary as Isabella. I think with Isabella, because she found the letters, it was a lot more scary with her. Now it's like the ghost is actually gonna start haunting people and the people are gonna not know what's going on. I mean, I know it was the same with Isabella, but it's like she kind of knew what was going on because of the letter and because of keep seeing the ghost and all that stuff. But anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, have an awesome day or night in the gaming world. Cheers.